Yo, what's up, y'all? So, a pay-per-view event, or yeah, well, event. I don't know what to call. I just call it pay-per-view event of WWE had dropped this past Friday. As you all know, I did a prediction show on it, the greatest Royal Rumble, and I wanted to make a correction. Actually, two corrections. So, for one, I said it was in India and it's in Saudi Arabia. That was my fault. So I just wanted to clear that up. It was just, I was thinking of, I don't know, just, it wasn't in America. So I know that's bad ET even say that, but yeah, so I just wanted to get that out. And also, I didn't get all the matchups in my predictions for every single match. It was like about 4 matchups that I completely forgot that were on the card. So I wasn't able to get my predictions out for those matches and stuff. And it's certain matches, like literally I forgot. It wasn't matches that was added at the last minute, but it was matches that were told weeks in advance and I completely forgot about it. So this is just kind of like, I ain't going to do like a full recap. I'm just going to talk about it because for real, like this is a pay-per-view event that I really didn't care too much about, and so I just was like, I'm just gonna watch it, and I kind of had other things going on, so I wasn't too in tune into it and everything like that, but I did catch a lot of the matches, or a lot of it as it was going on. So yeah, so let me go ahead and get right down to it. So the pay-per-view event, I'm glad that I was actually not even say glad, but I was surprised that the kickoff didn't have a match in there. And that was so weird because usually, as we all know, the kickoff usually has 1 or 2 matches or whatever, as well as like breakdowns of what's about to happen and everything else. But no matches were happening on the kickoff. So that's kind of weird that every other pay-per-view have like 10 matches on the kickoff before the 7-hour event for the pay-per-view event, and this one didn't have any type of matches, but it was an hour long. So, I mean, I guess you can't complain. So it wasn't really nothing to talk about on the predictions, well, on the pre-show. But getting into the first matchup, it was John Cena versus Triple H. And this is a decent match. This is a match that I guess you could say it was kind of weird with like just the matchups for this pay-per-view event, because this pay-per-view event, it's like it mattered, but it was kind of like a glorified house show, I guess you can say. And it had big implications, but at the same time, certain matches were just thrown together just because. And so I predicted that John Cena, I believe. I think, not. You know what? I didn't have it in my predictions thing, but I did think that John Cena was going to take it. So John Cena did end up taking it with a AA. Then he did a spot where he threw Triple H over into the turnbuckle, and when he hit his head, and when he came back, he put him up for another AA and got the victory. And it was, he came out pandering to the crowd, saying how much he loved to be there, and blah blah blah. And so he left the ring. After that, we had, hold on, I got scrambled up with my notes. So after that, we had Kalisto versus Cedric Alexander. I didn't say Cedric the Entertainer. Cedric Alexander for the Cruiserweight Championship. And Cedric, if basically, like, put it like this. Had I put out my predictions, and this is just not going off of, it already happened, so you can say this and that. Cedric Alexander, I felt like would have won anyway, because Kalisto, they're not about to give him the title right now. When they did it when Enzo was there, it was like, okay, but you saw how long he went with the title. He didn't hold it for that long. But Cedric basically ended up, getting the title, and I ain't gonna say he's a much better talent, but as far as them two, I like Cedric more than I would like Kalisto, and I believe that is for a lot of people when it comes to that. And yeah, I mean, it was a no-brainer. Cedric was going to retain. He wasn't going to lose, especially to Kalisto. I haven't been keeping up with 205, but I can tell you that wasn't going to happen. Next, we had the Bar versus the leader of worlds for the the Raw Tag Team Championships. And so, and I predicted in my predictions that Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy were going to take it. the bar had already been set by Sheamus and Cesaro, which pun intended. And they've already kind of established their name as being one of the top tag teams in WWE right now, as far as the main roster goes. And even like combining all of that with NXT, it's like they're one of the top tag teams on the roster. And so they already been tag team champions multiple times, and so they're moved to SmackDown. So they're more than likely they're going to give them a run with the tag titles on SmackDown. So I believe, that, it's time to have new tag team champions. And so that's why I predicted that Hardy and Bray was going to take it, and they ended up taking it. So that wasn't really a surprise going into that. It was a decent match. And then after that, we had another Hardy, which is Jeff Hardy, versus Jinder Mahal for the United States Championship. And Jeff Hardy is the one who held the championship after winning it from Mahal. His first night, it was the night after. No, hold on. What was it? It wasn't the night after Raw. It was the night after Raw, or the basically two Mondays. Well, yeah, 2 Mondays removed from WrestleMania for the Superstar Shakeup. That's what I was looking for. And Mahal got drafted, and then he lost to Jeff Hardy. So I figured that they wasn't going to give it back to Mahal, at least that quick. And then they're going to try to basically keep the minor championships on different brands. Like the United States title is going to stay on SmackDown, and then the Intercontinental Championship is going to stay on Monday Night Raw. So I didn't think that was going anywhere. If they would have did that, I would have been surprised. But they're going to try to give Hardy a run with it and see how far he can go. So, yeah, he wasn't going to come out of there he wasn't going to come out of there without that championship. Next on the docket, it was the Usos versus the Bludgeon Brothers for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. This was another match that I missed. I don't even know going in. Like, more than likely, I probably would have picked the Bludgeon Brothers only for the simple fact that they just got the championships. And I don't think that WWE is going to have them play hot potato with the championship, where the Bludgeon Brothers, they won it from the Usos, and then the Usos win it again, and then they go back and forth and all that stuff. So they're going to give the Bludgeon Brothers a good little run with it before they go to losing it. Maybe they might end up in a tag team thing with the Usos versus the Bar versus the Bludgeon Brothers, and maybe the Bar come out winners on that, because as we all know, that the Usos have been basically running ramshot of, like, I don't know if I said that right, running shop of SmackDown Live when it comes to the tag team division. And now we have another team that's going to be competition to them. I mean, we did have the New Day or whatever, but now we got the Bar, so the Bar is about to be set. Another sad pun, but yeah. The Bludgeon Brothers retained. I guess you can say it could have gone either way, but yeah, the Bludgeon Brothers retained. They're going to keep it for a good little minute. After that, we had Samoa Joe versus The Miz versus the Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor in the ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. This was kind of a fun match. I liked it. This is a match that, from what I saw of it, I enjoyed it. Going in and out. Because like I said, it had other things. But I paid attention to a lot of it. But just the end I want to get to it is that we had Balor climbing up the ladder. Was basically going to go get the championships. But then Rollins pulling a Shelton Benjamin off the top turnbuckle. Jumping onto the ladder. Hitting Balor on the way up. And then grabbing the championship and falling down to the mat, instantly retaining his Intercontinental Championship, which I predicted that he was going to come out. I didn't think that they were going to switch it that quick. They're going to give him a little bit of run. Come Backlash, he still may retain it. After Backlash, it can go either way. I feel like sooner or later Balor is going to get hold of that championship. They may want to keep that like, maybe, I ain't gonna say a feud between him, but more than likely they're gonna probably rekindle it and put it to where Balor versus Rollins for the Intercontinental Championship. And I believe once that happened, maybe in the first or second match they do, like, the singles, I feel that Balor is going to Balor is going to win it from Seth Rollins. But as of for right now, they're going to give him a little bit of a run. And then after that, we had like a little segment, ain't promo, but like little segment with, what was it, the Daivari brothers, and they came out and interrupt these new WWE superstar prospects. That I guess one of the reasons why WWE was coming to Saudi Arabia is because they have a lot of talent that they were kind of scouting and, you know, looking at out there. So they those wrestlers came out. It was 4 of them. Don't remember the names, didn't write them down, but they came out there just to kind of, like, you know, show off to the crowd, as well as show off, I mean, because more than likely the crowd already know who they were, but show off to the American crowd that's watching the, you know, program and everything else. And the Daivari brothers come out, basically just down talking them, and then they all take their turns of, like, just beating them down, and then they throw them out the ring, and that was it. It really wasn't nothing. And then we have, after that, Styles versus Nakamura for the WWE Championship. And this, what did I say? I think I said Nakamura was going to come out the winner, because I seriously thought. But no, I literally in my mind I was about to say sadly. But nah, I mean, I don't like, I mean, put it like this. I like AJ Styles. That was just a prediction that I thought I was gonna do. It's not that I want to see him without a championship or anything like that. So I'm happy that he retained. He retained via double countout because they both were outside the ring. The ref was counting, and AJ Styles was just really focused on just beating up Shinsuke, and they basically ended up getting both counted out. So Styles retained on the double countout, as we all know, by DQ or countout. The title can't change hands. So yeah, so Styles gets to hold on to it for a little bit longer. And I know I went into another accent that was kind of weird, but I love the accents. I might do a podcast when I'm talking about in this accent. But in any case, so Styles hit Nakamura through the barricade with a flying elbow, and no, he hits Styles with through the barricade. As well as he hit him with a flying elbow outside the ring because Nakamura was trying to get away, but then Styles is in the ring, so he jumps out the ring and hits him with a flying elbow and walks off into the sunset. So that was the end of that one. And then another match that I basically predicted that The Undertaker was going to win. There was no reason for Rusev to win this match. There was no huge hype for it. This was just one of those pay-per-view events that just happened. You know, it wasn't nothing like that was really leading up to an Undertaker-Rusev match, besides all of the semi-controversy going behind it of Rusev was in the match, and then Jericho replaced him, and then Rusev back in the match and stuff like that. But I figured that The Undertaker was going to win. The Undertaker, he ends up putting Aiden English and Rusev both in the casket and closing it. And yeah, that's how he won the match. Yeah. So I mean, I kind of figured, and I really seriously, I mean, I forgot that a casting match was non-disqualification. Well, no disqualification. So, you know, it makes sense. So I thought that, like, Aiden English is gonna interrupt and all this stuff, and then he's gonna basically get counted out and blah blah blah, or not counted out, but Rusev's gonna get disqualified. But yeah, it's no disqualification. So yeah, Rusev loses, and I don't think it's gonna hurt him at all. He's gonna go back and he's gonna complain about it, but then he's gonna go into a new rivalry. And so after that, we had the Universal Championship being defended. Reigns versus Lesnar, the champion. And this match, I predicted that Reigns was going to win. Like, literally, probably everybody thought that Reigns was going to win. And I was super surprised to see that he didn't. And it was kind of a controversial win. that Reigns put him out, well, basically spear him through the side of the cage. And then after that, what we had Lesnar hit the ground first. But as the rules state, just like in a a cage match, as it is up in a Royal Rumble match, Royal Rumble match. So it's like if both your feet hit the ground, then you're basically going to be disqualified. Or if both feet hit the ground with a cage match, hold on. Royal Rumble. If both feet hit the ground, then you're out. But the same thing, if both feet hit the ground in the cage match, you win. So if you look at it, where the controversy comes in is that even though Brock Lesnar hit the ground first, his feet was still up in the air due to the cage, not all the way falling through. But Roman Reigns, both of his feet hit the ground. So when it comes down to it, Brock Lesnar lost the match, but I know they're going to probably carry this controversy on. I kind of predicted maybe they might do because of the way this ended, they might do a triple threat where Roman Reigns says that, like, Brock Lesnar, he didn't win because of this and that, and he needs another rematch. And then we have Samoa Joe probably going to be looking at it as like, you lost, and since he lost and all this stuff, let's go ahead and make it a triple threat match, and it may end up being a triple threat match. So I figured that it might be that, but I could be wrong. They might just keep it as a, regular match between Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe, which I would be fine with that. It don't need to be nothing special. Brock Lesnar don't need to be in it right now, since he only appears every other, month and stuff like that. So it's like, it don't need to be anything too special. So yeah. But in any case, so let's go ahead and move on to the greatest Royal Rumble. Was it the greatest Royal Rumble? I don't know, because I didn't care to really, look at it like that. But we did have a few entrants that, that was kind of surprising. We had some people from NXT come up. I don't know if that was just them making a surprise entrance, or if there was like, they're going to be called to the main roster. But I think it was just surprise entrances. And so also, we had Rey Mysterio make a surprise entrance into the greatest Royal Rumble, and yeah, it was a decent match. We had Daniel Bryan break the record of being in the Royal Rumble match like the longest out of any participant in history. So that's something. And I did state that I thought that Rusev was going to win, because I thought that they was going to be like, he lost his match, and so he ends up putting himself into the Royal Rumble, or finding his way back into the Royal Rumble. I thought that like a lot of people that was in the Royal, that had matches, maybe would find themselves, if they lost, in the Royal Rumble, But that wasn't the case. So, of course, my predictions were way off. And since I didn't know too many of the people, I didn't actually look to see, because I didn't know that they had released 25 participants of it already. And then the other ones was just, okay, they going to happen. But I picked Rusev, but had I known some of the other people that would have been involved, that were involved, I probably would have had a different choice. But, yeah, so when it comes down to it, Braun Strowman ends up winning, which I thought that maybe he wasn't going to win, because like I believe Corey Graves said it on commentary that a lot of the big guys, when they enter a match, a Battle Royal or a Royal Rumble match, that when it comes down to it, the big guys are a target. So a lot of people are going to be trying to get the big guys out and everything like that. And the Great Khali was one of those prime examples, because once he got in, they wanted to get him out. So yeah, and so yeah, I didn't really think that he was going to, take it, but he did take it. But one of the things that I don't know if I mentioned it on my other podcast on episode 9, but it was like, what was the point of this? They should have, like, to get a trophy and a championship. A championship for what? Like, I don't know. That it didn't make sense to me. I could see if you wanted to make this some kind of legit, why wouldn't you basically make it to where it's like whoever wins has the same opportunity as the person that will win the regular Royal Rumble? Is that if you win, then you get a title opportunity down the line, like maybe at like not Backlash, but you know, just down the line, you know, and they can pull it in, and maybe you just kind of like a Money in the Bank type deal. And then that probably would have made more sense, you know, it would have made more sense to do, but no, it was just, you know, the winner of the match got a championship that won't be defended, and then they get a trophy. So it's like, what's the point? I mean, you have the greatest Royal Rumble, but no big implications for the winner. Now, if they come out on Monday Night Raw and be like, and right now, as I'm recording this Monday, and I'm watching Raw right now, but it may come out later on. But if they come out and say that, like, Braun Strowman, because he won that, he gets the opportunity of Brock Lesnar at not Backlash, because that's this Sunday, but maybe the next pay-per-view event, then I'll be like, okay, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. And then we can go from there with a feud and blah, blah, blah. But just to have him get a title that he can't defend and a trophy, it's like, who really, I don't know. It didn't make any sense. It really didn't make any sense. It's like, my gripe with that is the same gripe I have with the, what is that? The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. It's like, the person that wins it gets a trophy. Whoop-de-doo. Like, give them a title defense, you know? Even if it's not a major title, maybe just, but like, okay, they get a chance at like the United States or the Intercontinental Championship, you know, something like that. But I don't know. But yeah, so Braun Strowman ends up winning, and they had like a little celebration with a belt and a trophy, and that was basically it. And that was the greatest Royal Rumble. Was it the greatest Royal Rumble? I don't think so. But it was, I don't know, interesting to check out, but I mean, it's whatever. But we do have another pay-per-view coming on later on, well, Sunday, this coming Sunday. So I will be watching that, and I will have a predictions as well as a results for that. So I'm going to try to have my predictions podcast, well, episode 11 with my predictions and the review of Raw and SmackDown on Wednesday. And then I'm going to try and put out as early as I can Sunday, maybe Monday morning, for the results for, you know, the Backlash pay-per-view event. So with that said, that wraps up this pay-per-view, this short pay-per-view. I mean, wow, this wraps up this podcast, this short podcast of the results for the greatest Royal Rumble. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. So hey, before you guys leave this video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button and give this video a like, because it will really help me out. And hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And you see that little bell? That's the notification. Turn that on, that way you'll be notified for anything that drops on my channel. And if you look down in the description below, you will see all the links to my social media, so go ahead and follow me on those if you haven't already. As well as there are links to my other content that's on the channel, from movie reviews to podcasts to so much more. And I hope to see you guys here again next time. So thanks and peace out.